My name is Carl Jones. I'm a meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Grand Forks. I'm here with Blake Rafferty, also meteorologist here at the National Weather Service in Grand Forks. We're going to give you some details, talk about this upcoming system, potential impacts with that, and some other details on the uncertainty. I'm going to encourage that if you happen to have any questions, that you use the chat box, and we will get back to them and answer them at the end of the briefing. So with that, let's get started. And Blake, what you got for us?
Well, right now, as you see on your screen, is the headline map. We have a winter storm watch out for all of eastern North Dakota and the parts of northwestern Minnesota and west central Minnesota. Winter impacts are expected across the region. This is due to a combination of accumulating and blowing snow, although those won't occur at the same time. And widespread snowfall totals within that watch area in particular are about 3 to 6 inches. Now, in eastern North Dakota and the Red River Valley part of Minnesota, that's where we have the highest chance of seeing winter storm warning impacts, or namely, multiple inches of accumulating snow, 4 or more, 6 or more inches, and potentially some wind to blow it around on the backside of the system. There's also a 60% chance that we see 6 to 8 inches of snow, or locally more, inside the winter storm watch area. This will occur in narrow bands. There might be several of them across the watch area. So for now, we're continuing the winter storm watch for eastern North Dakota and parts of Minnesota. There will, here in the afternoon, as more data comes in, confidence is going to continue to increase with what's going to happen here. You might be able to do what Bismarck is doing right now by, say, 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon and upgrade our headlines to advisories and warnings. So this is the expected snowfall map. This is basically take tonight into tomorrow through the day. The heaviest snow will occur overnight, say to about the morning commute. However, there is uncertainty in the exact location this band sets up. This map shows just one potential scenario. It could shift a little north, it could shift a little south, but this gives you a general idea of how much snow we're expecting. And notice, while we are saying there's a 60% chance for 6 to 8 inches of snow, it's not everywhere. It's the upper end of the range at most sites in the watch area. And the highest chance for that to happen is in that white circled area, which runs from, up the Turtle Mountains through Devil's Lake into the central Red River Valley and adjacent parts of west central Minnesota. So here, for example, is the probability for 6 or more inches of snow on the left. So those highest chances are in the Devil's Lake Basin, kind of running that same area I just highlighted through the central Red River Valley into west central Minnesota. Now, not everyone in this area is going to see that 6 inches of snow. For example, we kind of have 2 scenarios on the right. The top one there on the upper right shows where the band of snow sets up, say, more from north central North Dakota down towards the southern Red River Valley. If that were to happen, the northern edge of the watch area would see less snow. However, if the low takes a little bit further north track, we're looking at a band of precip more like Devil's Lake to Grand Forks and then down into like Otter Tail County, for example, the Medina area, with those higher totals. That's where the greatest chance for 6 or more inches of snow would occur. So there's, again, still uncertainty. Do want to stress, though, that even areas that don't get a lot of snow on the backside of the system, particularly in the southern Red River Valley, if the northern track would be favored, like the bottom right scenario, you're still going to have several inches of snow with strong winds, so impacts will still be there. It's just maybe not quite as much snowfall. And this is the timing of that snowfall. So you can see it starts this evening in the west, in the Devil's Lake Basin. It's coming out of Canada, and it'll go through western and central North Dakota first and arrives here in our area by sometime after the evening commute mostly. The heaviest snow will occur overnight, so when you wake up tomorrow, it's going to be one of those events where you go, oh boy, out the window, there's a bunch of snow on my deck, It's not where you're going to be able to watch it fall. Light snow will continue through tomorrow morning, through the morning commute, and probably into the afternoon in places like the Red River Valley and points east. The snow will be much lighter, but with increasing winds, there will still be impacts from the blowing and drifting of fallen snow, and then the falling snow that's still occurring, reducing the visibility. So impacts are expected to the morning commute, mostly tied to the heavy snowfall, and then the evening commute for a combination of potentially light falling snow, but definitely still winds causing blowing and drifting. And this here shows you the winds. So as we go through time, you notice on the previous graphic, the heaviest snow is occurring overnight, but those winds don't really pick up till mid to late tomorrow morning for most places, except across Devil's Lake Basin. We pick up a little bit earlier, and then they persist into the afternoon. Winds are going to kind of pinwheel around. They're going to start out of the southeast. That's when they're going to be the weakest this evening, and then they're going to switch to the due north by sometime tomorrow afternoon, especially in the Red River Valley. So places in the Red River Valley might keep a little more wind a little bit longer as the winds funnel down the valley at that due northerly direction. And places up in the north, like Pembina, Langdon, maybe they won't get quite as much snow, but you add in the wind and the current snowpack they have, that could also enhance impacts. So here we're going to run quick to a computer model output here. And this runs through the timing, the general timing of the precip, and then the wind on the backside. So here we are, 5 o'clock. This is when the snow begins to just start to push into our western areas. And after that evening rush, so mid to late evening, that's when those darker blues start to show up. And that's the heavier snowfall from Devil's Lake, Grand Forks down to Fargo. You're starting to see these yellows and purplish colors pop up to the west. That's where the wind will be increasing, winds of 20 miles per hour or greater. And that's going to cause blowing and drifting snow. So notice right now here, this is very early this morning or tomorrow morning, 3, 4 in the morning. We have snow across much of the area, but those winds are still out in western and central North Dakota. However, as we continue through the mid to later part of tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, see how the snow remains, the lighter snow at least, and then we also get the increasing winds across the Devil's Lake Basin, eventually in the Red River Valley. And you can see this depicts the Red River Valley well, where winds might be funneled down from the north well into the afternoon. This is the evening commute. And, winds aren't going to be extremely strong. We're not talking like 50-mile-per-hour winds or anything like that, like they're looking out in western North Dakota. But still, sustained winds of around 20 miles an hour with gusts of 30 or maybe even 35 in the southern Red River Valley. That'll be plenty to prolong blowing and drifting snow. And then finally, this is kind of a secondary thing, but something to think about is with the amount of snow we're expecting if you were to get stuck or something out there. Wind chills, they're not, Arctic cold. We're not talking cold warnings or anything like that, but wind chills still in the teens and even 20s below zero in parts of the far north. So anyone that gets stranded out there, that's quick enough to cause frostbite in half hour or slightly less. So you're going to want to take precautions if you're outside. And that's something to think about when planning for tomorrow. And finally, winter driving. This snow, since the heaviest snow is going to fall probably with a lack of wind, the highways are going to become snow covered more than likely the way it's looking. So just remember, watch when you're driving, don't crowd the plow, and stay alert. As the winds pick up tomorrow, that snow will start to drift and blow around. So with that,